Alright, welcome back and let's get to work. Change the build a little bit for this mission. Dual Gats, Zimmerman, and then the laser slicer. The reason for that is I initially did this run with the Zimmermans, the dual Zimmermans I usually use, and then I realized that it would probably make my life easier if I kept a little bit of distance from Iguazu, but also had constant DPS. This Iguazu fight can be a little bit of a hassle for S rank due to his weaponry, as he carries like a machine gun and I believe a rifle, which in close quarters can stagger you, at a decent rate. And then as soon as he staggers you, he comes in and assault armors you. So that's a pretty big chunk of DPS done. Here I am embarrassing myself. And the laser slicer is so good. It is a very high risk, high reward type of weapon. As I have mismanaged my weaponry on this run multiple times to where I was fighting the boss and I thought I had my Gatling gun out, but I used a laser slicer, and that will ruin your run if you accidentally misclick and deploy the laser slicer, because it locks you into an animation where you can no longer dodge. So very high risk, very high reward. Be very careful when you're using it. I wouldn't really use it on an MT, just because if it's a one-on-one, I can just assault kick them. And if there's more, you're gonna take damage because you're basically stationary. One thing that I also like to use, because of what I mentioned earlier with Iguazu and him staggering you, is the pulse armor. So I'll wait until I enter the room, and then I'll use my pulse armor so he can't cause any stagger damage on me yet. And if you time this right, if you do it good, you'll make it to where you can't even use his repair kit. I messed it up here, but you can do it fast enough where he does not get to use his repair kit. And just like that, as you see, the laser slicer will allow you to stun lock them, and he won't be able to do anything as long as the laser slicer is hitting him.
It's dangerous.
One thing I like to do here is also, because I'm not going to be using the weapons any longer, so I'm just going to purge all of them to get my speed up and lower my energy drain.
Raven, watch out.
So sometimes you do have to bait it out of him to fire his laser here. So he'll shoot it twice, and you self boost and move on. Usually I like to stay there, but I misclicked my button, so no big deal. Just push through. Took a couple of missiles, not an issue. And here's where I like to use my second use of assault armor, or pulse armor, because these guys drop down and they're annoying, and I'm not going to deal with them when I can just do this. Easy. The timing here, pretty important. Just be quick, because as soon as you access this and it turns red, they're going to deploy MTs in the area. But it's not going to matter if you're fast enough like this.
Seems like smooth sailing, 621. As if you hardly need help from me. Once you get
so the boss here is pretty fun. I like fighting him. He can randomly do damage to you, I feel like, though. High amounts of damage. But he's pretty readable.
Be careful, Raven.
I say that, and I'm pretty sure I take his like opening salvo here with his laser cannon. Yeah, dodge that. That's kind of important. So here with the Gats, stay close. Once he gets a certain distance away, this is what I'm talking about with that laser slicer. See, I figured it would stagger him, but it didn't, and he was able to put rounds in me. Stay close with the dual Gats, because I think probably about 300 meters, you start doing ricochets, and that really diminishes the amount of damage and stagger you're causing. It's also, I find it better to stay above this guy. A lot of his like melee attacks are focused straight forward. It seems like he has issues getting off the ground and tracking if you're in the air. Just keep plugging away with the dual gats, laser slicer. As you see, his stun lock, he's not going to unstagger. You can't really do anything. Hit him with the shotgun, and then back to the dual gats. This build can be a little bit more skill dependent because of the ability to swap your guns like that. Like there's many times where I thought I'd have my laser slicer or my gats out, and I had my laser slicer, and then I missed the hit, and I'm basically locked in place for, you know, a second or 2 seconds. We all understand, like, if that happens with a boss, it's over. Your run could be over just like that. This is the loadout I've found that helped me the most, especially dealing with Iguazu and then moving on and killing this guy. If you enjoyed this, you know, like, subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike, leave a comment, tell me why you didn't like it and where I can improve. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a good day.